Hi, beautiful people. How are ya? I hope you're having a great day. Several of you have stated that you have mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS. I'd never heard of that before, so of course I had to go look it up, and I added it to the list of topics that I'd like to cover. So that's what I'd like to cover today. If you have histamine issues, heat is a massive trigger for you. Insect bites are an issue. Stress is an issue. Stomach pain is a problem, and exercise is a trigger, among other things, then this video is for you. What happens when any of those triggers affect you? What do we do to help us when we're triggered? And we'll learn about fibromyalgia and MCAS and how they might be related. So here we go. Mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS, is a condition that causes mast cells to release too many chemicals into your body, which means you have a normal amount of mast cells, not extra cells, but they're over-responsive and dysregulated. And so that's what causes the problems. The mast cells are responding to threats like bacteria and viruses, but they don't stop responding when they have cleared the threat. They can start reacting to safe things like certain foods or even medications. Mast cells derive from the bone marrow and mature in response to stem cell factor, which acts via the cell surface tyrosine kinase, or KIT, receptor, then migrates to all tissues. As a result, mast cell mediators can affect all organs and lead to multiple symptoms. Mast cells are found adjacent to blood vessels and nerve endings. In the brain, mast cells are located in the thalamus, hypothalamus, and median eminence. There are two types of MCAS, clonal and non-clonal. Clonal is the rare genetic type, but the majority is non-clonal and not related to mast cell genes. About 17% of the general population is thought to have this type. However, it's also believed that 50% of people with chronic health conditions are affected by MCAS, if not more. Mast cells are present in a majority of tissues in the body and can release over 200 inflammatory mediators. This is because they are blood cells that are part of the immune system. They help our body fight infections, but also are involved in allergic reactions. Mast cells live longer than normal cells and grow in our bone marrow, but also our gastrointestinal tract, our skin, and our airways. They're known to be stimulated by IgE through unique receptors and by TLRs, toll-like receptors, a class of proteins that play a part in the immune system. When we come in contact with an allergen or substance that causes an allergic reaction, mast cells release chemicals called mediators. Some of these chemicals are released right away, and some take a little longer. One chemical is called histamine. We know of histamine as a substance that causes allergic symptoms. These symptoms include the following, according to WebMD: expanding blood vessels, itchy skin, swollen skin, mucus buildup, tightened airways, wheezing, headaches, anaphylaxis. Healthy people will experience these symptoms as a way to protect and heal. In someone with mast cell activation syndrome, MCAS, they have a negative effect because the immune system inappropriately activates mast cells, causing them to release too many mediators. This results in a person experiencing severe allergic reactions that affects several body systems at the same time repeatedly. Mast cells can be triggered or activated by infections, medications, insect venom, reptile venom, fragrances, stress, exercise, and food. People with MCAS might have a lot of allergy symptoms and lots of episodes of anaphylaxis without a clear cause. So there are many different symptoms that affect lots of our body systems, like our digestive, cardiovascular, nervous system, etc., all at once. And many other things you will see in the next section. What you need to know is symptoms can be in more than one system. Symptoms can come and go or are cyclical. There are lots of different triggers. It might be difficult to figure out what the triggers are. You'll have a dramatic change in symptoms such as sudden swelling, itching, rashes, inflammation, vomiting, headaches, chronic pain, flushing, diarrhea, constipation, fast heartbeat, low blood pressure, fatigue, fainting, sweating, or abdominal pain. Oh my goodness. The symptoms are widespread and more significant than just histamine intolerance. Many people think they have just histamine intolerance, which can be serious all on its own, but they may actually have MCAS. Usually, two systems or more in the body are affected by MCAS. Here's a look at the common systems. See if you relate to two or more of the following categories. There's a 2021 study where researchers showed that bacterial infections and bacterial toxins triggered an immune response that led to the production of dietary antigen-specific IgE antibodies in mice, which were limited to the intestine. Following subsequent oral ingestion of the particular dietary antigen, an IgE and mast cell dependent mechanism induced increased visceral pain, which is an occasional pain that feels like a deep ache, gnawing, twisting, colicky, or pressure related to the internal organs, in comparison to somatic pain, which researchers often use to explain fibromyalgia pain in the tissues of the muscles. I would describe my stomach pain as a deep ache that feels colicky, for sure. The researchers go on to say that the aberrant or abnormal pain signaling resulted from histamine receptor H1 mediated sensitization of visceral afferents, as in the central nervous system, or wherever the pain is resulting from. Patients with IBS were injected with gluten, wheat, soy, and milk, those foods that are considered antigens, into the inner lining of the rectum. Yikes. That induced local edema, meaning swelling caused by fluid buildup, and mast cell activation. They propose that IBS, at least in some patients, is at one end of a spectrum of food-induced disorders, all of which they believe are driven by mast cell activation. Food systemic allergy is at the other end of the spectrum. More research is needed, but there appears to be an infection, antigen, antibody, mast cell connection. Fibromyalgia is a chronic, widespread musculoskeletal disease that causes body-wide pain, fatigue, sleep issues, stiffness, and cognitive problems, among other things. People with fibro experience allodynia and hyperalgesia. The pathogenesis is unknown, but there are many hypotheses. Patients are sensitive to heat and cold temperatures, sound and light, and endure many overlapping conditions like IBS, interstitial cystitis, migraines, and more. Stress aggravates the condition, and mast cells are believed to play a part in the immune system and function of fibro patients. About half of the patients with fibro likely have MCAS, and that makes me wonder. So it is known that mast cells contribute to innate immunity, autoimmunity, and inflammation. Increasing evidence supports the involvement of mast cells in fibro and comorbid disorders, as well as inflammatory and painful conditions and neuroimmune interactions. In fibro, or in anyone actually, we can be sensitive or have an allergic reaction to food, dust, pollen, pet dander, saliva, or urine, mold, insect bites and stings, latex, or certain medications. According to a 2019 study, researchers stated that inhibitors of mast cells would be useful in the treatment of fibromyalgia. Examples of these in that particular study are the following. Those treatments can be used alone or in combination with other substances to reduce stress, such as personally, I wouldn't go out and buy these supplements. I mean, that's up to you. I would do my research on them, though, to make sure they're not interacting with any of our other medications. I've added this information to provide us with potential treatments for the future. It does show the importance of fruits and vegetables. However, Dr. Teitelbaum has found the following to be helpful for people with fibromyalgia, and the article is in the description section below. It's really interesting. I'm already taking several of these. In a 2024 study, researchers stated that mast cells mediate painful and fatigue behaviors in fibromyalgia. Diagnosis is complicated. It's common to see many different doctors. Sounds like fibromyalgia. Symptoms can look like other conditions, and so it's hard to pinpoint. Doctors might check out tryptase, histamine, and prostaglandin levels, but there aren't specific definitive tests for MCAS. They will consider allergy symptoms and other systems in two or more organ systems that keep coming back or are chronic. And they will consider whether you get better after taking antihistamine medications or other drugs that block chemicals released by mast cells. If you meet all three of these criteria, then you might get diagnosed. If you have MCAS, is this how you were diagnosed? I'd really love to know. Please share that with us. There isn't a cure. So if you are diagnosed, you'll have to avoid the triggers that you know of and take medications. Antihistamine meds and other drugs that block these chemicals can help. And these include first generation H1 blockers, second generation H1 blockers, H2 blockers, aspirin, leukotriene inhibitors, such as montelukast and zafirlukast, I guess. A mast cell stabilizer used to relieve symptoms of interstitial cystitis. I found this one interesting because I take montelukast. Corticosteroids, quercetin, and monoclonal antibodies. Work with your doctor to determine the best treatment for you. Of course, if you have anaphylactic reactions, your doctor might also give you an auto-injector epinephrine pen to use for emergencies. And sometimes people with MCAS will react to the ingredients in medications, which means it might take some time to figure out the right treatment options for you. Keep in mind that stress can activate mast cells, and having symptoms from mast cell activation syndrome can cause more stress and worry, so a vicious cycle can occur. Patients may use therapy, mindfulness, gentle exercise, rest, connecting with friends, and work on hobbies that they love and enjoy to help them manage their symptoms, their emotional health, and well-being. If you have something to add to the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. I have to say that I took the survey test. I've linked that below. And I have a lot of the symptoms. Now, it's not like I've noticed whether symptoms come on suddenly and whether two or more are linked at the same time, or I just have all of these separate conditions. I don't know. But it's something I'm going to pay attention to from now on. I take so many of the meds that's listed, so that's something to think about. What do you all think? There's an article of a person who lives with fibromyalgia, MCAS, POTS, hypermobility, EDS, and she talks about her struggles and accomplishments. Keep in mind that every person living with MCAS is different, but I like hearing another person's experience and process of learning how to handle symptoms. It's the last link in the description section below, and she also offers links to books and other resources. I'm pretty sure she lives in the UK, so that's pretty cool. And let me say that MCAS is a diagnosis that explains the many symptoms that people may have. So I believe you, and I support you. I hope you learned something. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you.